So what do I got? I got this thing over here, which I cut out nicely out of this thing over here, and then I got this thing over here. This is the previous hairpiece that I wore before, but I cleaned it all up, removed the gunk, and just retaped it all, so it's all nice and fresh to put back on. But I did not adhere to this over here or this over here. Now this over here is pretty nice because I kind of evened it up a little bit with some tape measure there and the fucking the toothpicks and whatnot. And then I got this thing, which is basically a reincarnation of this thing over here, but nicer, see? It fits smoothly. It just melts like cheese right under the head, right there. Now I could put this thing here over on that thing there, but this thing here is right here, so I can't do that right now, okay? So what I'm gonna do instead is use this thing right here to remove this thing right here, because this is picking up there a little bit and might get in the fucking way of this thing over here. Unfortunately, this thing right here is not as transparent as this thing right here, so I'm going to try to figure out where the front hairline needs to be, and I'm going to mark it on my head this time like a wise yak. Let's hope that's not somebody who's committed atrocities surname or something. That's all pretty balanced up there again. Good. I want to use S because it comes from the word wise, but Z's probably going to look better. Yeah. What's a maniac? Z seems to be more berserkoid for a word like maniac. So wise yak. I'd even put a K, just so it's more like a fucking skater tag. Wise yak. I would, if I'd known in advance I was going to be a skater tag, I would have tried it. Anyway, a wise yak over here. Somebody who's a bit too wise and they're a maniac about it. You know, they're just doing crazy things with all their wisdom, trying to enforce their will upon the people when really they don't deserve it. That right there is a wiseiac, and they really shouldn't be talking too much, giving people their information when they don't really know how to do things. So now, from now on, you just listen to me. That's Dr. Wiseiac to you. All right, let's figure out how to get rid of some of this extra bit. That is the old one, so that should fit and cover all of this. I don't want any fucking massive gaps there and there, for God's sake. That should squeeze down. Based on my kind of mostly guesses when I did modify this, let me put that black dot here anyway. This is a permanent marker. Not that I think it'll stay, but it'll have more of a chance of loitering around. Yeah, so according to this, I'm gonna have to chop that out. What's going on over this side? Uh-oh. Is this because of the seesaw problem? Did I not trace it properly? This ain't right. This is not the right scale. It's just so fucking hard to measure these things. What about when I transposed it incorrectly onto here? Maybe this fixed it a bit. Now, would you agree that that is where my hairline is supposed to land? Above the top knob? Well, that looks like it's a bit too low. wisarchically, I won't add that. You guys can let my language evolve as you will. Spread my word, my children. Let's see if this one, nope, that's even worse. That is much worse. Wow, I totally fucked up. That does not fit at all. Yeah, this one was bigger than that other one down there. This one should have been bigger because I went outside the trace. Look, I traced it with black, and I kind of went on the line with the trace, but shit. Why does that not line up? That's way off. God, this, I'll tell you what, this, if you were able to do the equations for how to measure something like this for a head, it's probably like first year university maths. That's just fucked up. That is not how it was supposed to be. Wow, I traced that. What a bad job I did. Holy shit. And is it that off center? Really? Well, you'll be happy to know, well, I'll be happy to know, that I have not yet cut anything using this stencil. But I just really seriously hope I remember what I've done here. Now, 7 inches from the front hairline is usually where Lord Hair places the crown, where it becomes all patchouli and sprawling me up in multiple directions. But my natural crown is there. Now when I cut off the front piece here, this thing lowers based on the hairpiece, and then that pushes the crown from 7 to about 6.5, which causes the big patchouliment only 6 inches from the front there. So I've got this patchouli fucking pineapple branch coming right up out of the center of my head when I use poly. So for safety reasons, I'm always thinking that I should throw this thing, which is too small, in the bin unless I wait another month or 2 or 3 for this to all grow back and just go from the base of his eyes. But there's no way to know in advance when I'm going to hit him because he's faded in under the hairs and stuff, right? This just looks so way off. But it's not just that, I was intending to shave off more. Now I could try to put this thing right here. I could try shoving that on my head and then trying to shave this off afterwards, but that, that's not gonna fucking work. I've got to shave this off first. So how about I just guess where the shaving needs to happen and just do it by, no, I need to do this properly, otherwise I'll fuck it up. Oh my god, that's exactly what I thought. That could happen and that could fuck me up. That won't happen because it never happens. Why aren't I facing it upwards? Because if I'm facing it downwards, that could happen. Yes, it did, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Yes, one more question. No, I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. No more time. Thank you very much. Fuck me. I'm an idiot on the floor. Is it possible that I didn't kaspoodle? That's a bit too close to patoodle, not imaginative enough. Is it possible that I didn't fuck it up completely? And this sort of hair just grows back like sideburns, right? Just like really quick. So much effort for so much failure. God. What an idiot. That's fucking stupid of me. How could I have made such a big fuck up like that? It's going to draw attention, that's for sure, once I brush over it, which is what I'm planning to do. Is this side even right? It's fading a lot, isn't it? Like, it starts from there, and there's just like, almost like stubble through that. Is that about equal anyway? I don't know. That's not good. Should I just leave that there? Or should I fade that up as well? No idea. My forehead must be really sticky. Look at this. Bullshit, all of it. This is what's going to happen now. I'm into a fucking heaps of effort to make these stencils, and they're just so wrong. They're just so wrong. The head doesn't lie. This is the end result. I know that the front hairline is supposed to be about there, so that's centered. That's the side that was already shaved. That's the side I just fucked up. So that kind of seems to be correct. Luckily there. Whereas this side, if you can see through that, needs to be shorn lower. And all this time I've been trying to shrink this in to make it narrower as much as possible. Being wider at the front and narrower as you get closer to the back. And certainly trying to be, you know, in the center of my head. But the problem is, you gotta remember, I didn't shave my head properly in accordance with this thing. I just kind of shaved it according to how much could I get underneath the hairpiece. And on one side, maybe I favored the shaving over the other, so you can't expect the shave zone to be completely accurate. What the fuck? It fits now. It fits now. What? Is that because the bumps were inside out? Surely it doesn't affect laws of physics like that. Or is that too high on the front? It's probably too high. What should be there? Once I put it there, how much further forward did I fuck it up? Yeah, that minuscule change at the front seems to massively affect where it lands at the back. Is that about the amount of difference there was between here and there? And that is in accordance with this gap here. I cannot trust this stencil. There's a little bit of seesawing going on there. If I flip it over inside out and make the bumps face down, does that change anything? I'm trying to position it at the front first. And you can already see what's landing in the back, but I'll have a look in a sec. Yeah. Wow, okay, with the bumps down, which is how it was intended, it seems to fit better. I don't know if that's exactly centered. Also, what? It's so hard to figure out how this should sit. Like, it almost fit exactly a second ago. I would still say I'm going to shave this Gotta wait for this to grow back if I want this stencil to work. As it stands, the stencil fits sometimes. Now compare that one to this other one, which the left sock god has stolen. Here it is. Right. Like that. And I say this one causes a seesaw effect, but actually this was created as a mold for my actual scalp. So all the bumps and everything, it kind of respects that. So this kind of fits pretty much perfectly, aside from the alterations I made to try and make it more symmetrical over on this side, because I'd obviously shaved deep onto that side and I hadn't shaved as deep over here, and so when I remade this I tried to make it a bit more symmetrical. So yeah, this kind of probably would work so long as I shaved out a bit more there. Stencils are so hard, seriously. Now I'm gonna get this stuff, and more importantly this thing. And I'm simply going to shove that thing onto that thing. Ow. And I do wish I had some kind of marker, but I don't have a comb. But I do have this. So with the ability to see the front of my forehead clearly with that hair all banging in the way right now, I'm just gonna dig in and say I want it to land about where those fucking things are. Okay. It's called the comb marking method. Now I'm gonna try to figure out the back is. I kept a bit of Auschwitz tag on the back because I half peeled it off. Unfortunately the hair is completely dry, which could cause problems. I just really need to make sure that this rodent lands where I want it to. Okay, so this is definitely the front. Now there's going to be a heap of overhang because I deliberately didn't fuck with this particular hairpiece. Now we want this to land. I started by telling you all that tape is not good with lace because it just shines through and it doesn't stick properly. But it does stick to hair. That should cover over everything at the back as well, surely. Yeah, there's overhang. This is a hairpiece that was initially cut by Lord Hair, 2 inches down to about there everywhere, and then 3 inches, which landed about there on me. But the hairdresser, he's basically reduced it. Hairdressers don't tend, in my last 2 experiences, understand or speak in terms of inches. Oh fuck, it's already lifting off. Yeah, once you positioned it, this is the problem with tape. You can't lift it, it's stuck now. Like, even, did I shift it enough that I fucked it? It already kind of looks dirty or bent. So I'm gonna have like a dirt line along there. And I've been having the shine, you can see the shine through there, can't you? You can also see, well, at the moment you can see the scalp coming through, which is good. So I'll remove all that. And hopefully, under most circumstances, the hair will thicken over every imperfection. Now I want to spray this all with water right now, give myself a hairstyle, but If I do that, there's a chance that it'll go through and wet the glue that is trying to press into the netting. So what's a way that I could minimize that and still give you a finished look, so I don't leave this video looking like a bad end. This is Schwarzkopf. In the description below. I tend to use all the same stuff nowadays, unless I'm reinventing the wheel again, because the wheel sucks. Hopefully that didn't wet everything so much that it's going to fuck the hold, but it is basically conditioner. I just spray it onto the connection point when I'm trying to join something very weak like netting to something weak like Orca tape, Ultra Hold mini tabs. I'll be able to style this more and pull off some better looks when I got, you know, more license to flip it around a lot. Now I'm going to be on the road again for a few weeks maybe, and with no access to a bathroom. And I'm in no hurry to get back to fucking doing all that, like putting the tape around the edges again and taking this all off and shaving it again, which I fucking hate. But once I know for sure what my shave zone is going to be, and this is not a very good indicator, though it did fit perfectly at one point, didn't it? For some weird reason. Whereas this one actually conformed precisely to the shape of my skull. It won't work on the mannequin head, but it will work on my skull. Which is, you know, this is the front, prefrontal cortex, obviously massive. Heading into the base, back part of my brain, which is basically does all the processing. This part gets super hot, right? This area is already just fried off any hairs that tried to grow on the surface. It needed more cooling, right? Because of just the massive amounts of processing data it was processing at all times. Also acting as like an aerial for the cosmos, just taking in new ideas and fucking being a genius. Or a Wizziac. And then the back part is just like fucking just processing inside this like an angel or some genius that's existed since the beginning of time. Some call him the seed of all things. Others call him just, you know, a humble guy who just happens to be sitting in the lotus position, hovering 20 feet above the ground with his fingers like this, going om, 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 and just spreading new creativity along the outer edges of the universe. You can't see it now, but maybe in 20,000 lives from now, you can stop and remember that you were once told about the seed and all the good that he is doing unto the universe. So that's basically what those lumps are, basically the topography there. So this hairpiece right now, probably would never do a brush back look because there's gonna be black dirt along there and stuff. Color's good. Didn't need to re-dye the grays on the sides because I just definitely couldn't be fucked doing that. I just let myself go grey and then add grey to the hairpiece over time, especially since I found a fucking couple of greys today on my eyebrows. Just fucked. But I'm glad to have this thing back on my head all clean, with a clean scalp underneath. Ready for around a million. Now in terms of the 1.5 inch rule, I'm really sorry about this rule, but you can see what happens on both sides. It's just so badly made. It doesn't make any fucking sense. One side is centimeters and the other side is centimeters, but they measure in a way that doesn't even land on an equal spot. So I'm just going to use this side and measure what the hairdresser did here because it doesn't seem to be too short. Yeah, I've got 35 millimeters, which is 1 and more than a half of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. So basically you did satisfy the minimum requirements that I've always talked about, which is 1.5 inches. But because all this hair is facing down, 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 all the way around the edges, it could be that it won't ever plop up because the hairs are V-looped in all around. So they're all just, both sides of the V are just both pointing down on that side. It's only the front where you want it to just, or up in the middle and everything, especially in the crown area on polyvisors. These aren't V-loops as well, I forgot. Sorry, these ones are tied in. So there is a bit of that stuff going on, but not as much as a V-loop. But yeah, the knot here is still forcing the two sides of the hair to twist together on the netting. So we're going to look at the hairline anyway. I'm not going to be forceful with it, I just want to show you. I also need to see if I landed in the right spot. Too late now if I didn't. Oh yeah, and what about that shavy bit on the other side? I fucked it up. So, this is the French lace piece from Lord Hair. Oh yes, I think I covered it. Covered my little accident. You reckon that's a good altitude? I think it's equi-altitudinal, so I sort of placed it, neatly in the middle. Also, what I've done in the past is I've disrespected the contour provided from the factory and just gone and made it rounder. So I've got a wider, blunter hairline. I don't respect that hairline. I respect this hairline. My t-shirt is on backwards.